Today, I'm going to have Kishore explain to me the importance of an IT assessment and how they benefit organizations of all sizes. Kishore, can you give us just a minute on your background?
Myself, Kishore. I'm the VP of Digital Solutions here at Pronix. So we are based in Plainsboro, New Jersey. We provide client IT solutions for various clients across US and other parts of the world. So we mainly help the clients to modernize applications, application transformation, cloud transformations, agile software development, and also the IT talent solutions.
So let's get started with the basics. Kishore, what is an IT assessment and its main purpose?
IT assessment is a comprehensive evaluation of an organization's IT infrastructure, systems, and processes. So it basically, helps the organizations understand the efficiency, the security, and the effectiveness of their IT setup, and identify, various areas for improvement. So, for example, so you have the, people, process, technology. So every company will have, set of people, they have set of process and technology. So the purpose of conducting an IT assessment is to evaluate the effectiveness of, the company's infrastructure, the process and procedures. So an IT assessment helps to identify the areas of improvement and opportunities for optimization, ensuring the company's technology investments are aligned with its business goals. So by reviewing the hardware, the software, the security, and network, so experts can, identify issues and risks and recommend solutions to migrate them. So once you do the assessment, you can use that assessment report, it basically provides a summary of current technology stack, the current technology status, and various risks, and also the prioritized, action plan, if you call it as a roadmap to address them, right? So conducting an IT assessment, it helps the business, make informed decisions about the technology investments and stay competitive, by providing a roadmap for improving technology and business goals.
Great, that makes sense. Can you tell me a bit about the process of conducting an IT assessment?
Yeah, so if you want to conduct an IT assessment, there are three things you need to do first. So one is you define the scope of the assessment, and you gather, the data about your infrastructure, the systems and processes. And third, you analyze the data that you actually gathered to identify, the strengths, weaknesses, risks, and opportunities. So these are the three major steps. But if you, double click, so first what you need to do is you need to do the assessment of current state. So whatever current state, technology stack, current processes, procedures, the people that you have, the organization, right? And then once you collect the current state assessment, then you have the gap analysis, right? So this is the stage, that includes basically you compare the current state to the leading practices and the industry standards and, various benchmarks. For example, you have the Gartner reports, right? So Gartner would suggest, McKinsey, they would suggest, what are the different areas that you need to focus, what are the technology trends. So it basically provides different areas of improvement. So the gap analysis, it basically provides comparison, right? And then third step is basically recommendations. So you have the current state, you have the gap analysis, and then you come up with the recommendations based on all of these, industry standards and references. You basically come up with the findings for each of the focus areas, right, of the assessment. And you come up with the recommendations, and you basically create a specific, implementation plan, or you call it as a roadmap. So the roadmap could be a quarterly basis. Normally we provide a 3-year roadmap or implementation plan. So because the technology changes very, rapidly time to time. So you don't need to prepare a long-term roadmap, but at least, short-term, what are the quick wins? And the long-term, what are my, long-term goals? So you basically come up with the, implementation plan.
Okay. Can you share with me the main steps involved in conducting a typical IT assessment?
Yeah, so normally we follow different steps. So, for example, as I said, so number one, you have to define the scope and objectives of the assessment. Number two, you need to gather the information about the various systems and operations. Number three, you have to evaluate, what you have actually gathered, right? And then number four, you prioritize the areas of improvement, right? So which ones you need to prioritize based on the, your business and the market, trends and your goals and your growth plans and your product and services. And then number five, you have to develop a plan of action, right? Which is basically, I call it as a roadmap or implementation plan. So number six, you have to present these findings and recommendations to the executive board. It could be CIO, the CTO, or the chief revenue officer. And then you have to take steps to, implement the plan of action, right? So to execute this roadmap further into, the practical nature.
And what kind of resources are needed to carry out an IT assessment generally?
Yeah, so you need, several experts. We call it as a subject matter experts. So you need, people from business and IT leadership, right? So you have the CEO, right? You could start from the CEO, based on the size of the organization, and then trickle down to the various business heads, chief revenue officer, chief executive officer, chief transformation officer, chief technology officer. So you get the entire IT leadership. And you need people from architecture, so enterprise architecture, solution architecture, business architecture. And then you need people from PMO, project management office, because they are the one, creating the budgets and the plans for the company to run the IT projects. And then you need people from quality assurance, you need people from DevOps, obviously the cloud, which is the IT infrastructure. It could be on-prem as well. And then people from IT security, compliance, and user experience. So user experience is playing a critical role in this digital age. So you need to have all of these subject matter experts. So the second, you need assessment framework and methodologies, right? So you need to create an assessment framework, right? Specific to your business needs, and a methodology so that it can guide the entire assessment process, right? And then ensure that you need to produce a comprehensive and thorough, assessment to be done. And third, obviously, set of tools, and you need a proper schedule, right? So usually we conduct assessments with 3 months, depends on the size of the organization. So if we take a mid-size organization with 1,000 people, it could take 3 months. If it is a smaller company, maybe a month. But if it is a bigger company, maybe 3 to 6 months, right? So you need to set up for schedule and the tools, right? So you have to come up with various tools for assessing infrastructure and project management tools, various collaboration management tools. So because you come up with a certain documentation and different diagrams and methodologies and principles, standards. So these are the three things you need. So subject matter experts, you need assessment framework and methodologies, and you need tools and schedule.
Okay. So what are the various IT assessment areas?
So you have, different areas you normally focus. As I said in the beginning, it's basically three main things: people, process, technology. So we call it as a PPT model, right? So I will basically give you more details. So number one is IT management. So the overall, organization structure alignment, so you have the process assessment, capability assessment, a planning and budgeting. So all of these things comprise of the IT management. And then you have second one, business applications. So various applications that your business process is, using to support, right? And then you have various packaged applications and custom applications. So for example, you have SAP, Salesforce, MuleSoft, and then you have custom applications, and then database platforms. So all of these comes into the business applications. So you have the integration platforms, you have the maintenance and support, end user activity, and the usability. So all of these are business applications. So the next one, third one is the infrastructure. So you have the network, storage, servers, compute, different domains you have, different, the security, disaster recovery, the user policies. So all of these comes into the infrastructure area, right? And then you have the fourth area, which is a business and technology strategy, right? So there is a lot of companies nowadays, they're having chief strategy officer or business strategy officer. So you have to assess your existing business strategy, and you need an IT alignment with the organization objectives, right? So that's where we call it as a business and technology strategy. So, and then you need an entire IT strategy. You create IT strategy and then the maintenance processes, right? So that's number 4. And then finally, you have to the other area is cybersecurity, right? So you have network security, application security, data security, cloud security. So obviously, all of these 5 different areas are main focal points for your IT assessment.
What are the typical deliverables you can expect from an IT assessment?
Main deliverables for the IT assessment, I would categorize them as 4. So
Okay.
in our experience, so number 1, a business and technology strategy assessment report. So as I said, you evaluate all the business applications, all the technology areas we talked about. So you come up with the assessment report for each one of those areas.
Okay.
And then number 2, we provide a 3-year strategic plan. So we call it as a roadmap or implementation plan, right? And then number 3, you have the detailed processes. As you're doing the assessment, you come up with your existing processes and to-be processes, right? So those are the 2 deliverables. And then you have technical processes, a roadmap, and you have implementation plan. So you have the documentation from all of these areas. So finally, you have the master finding prioritization report. So once you prepare the roadmap and the implementation plan, you need to prioritize them, right? What do you want to implement in the quarter 1, quarter 2, or year 1, year 2, like year 3? So what are your main goals, the business goals? So you prioritize the report.
Well, this has been a great overview. So what are your recommendations for IT leaders looking to take their organization's IT to the next level?
So if you are an IT leader looking to take your organization's IT to the next level, so this is the best time to consider IT assessment. Especially most of the companies are going through digital transformation, they're going to cloud transformations or cloud migrations, and they're going through application modernization and a lot of agile transformation going on. So there's a lot of change in the market, and also with the invention of AI coming into all the businesses. So you have to really focus on taking your organization to the next level, and you have to do the assessment, a detailed assessment as to where you want to go, where you are today, and then where you want to go. So it's definitely a best time. And here at Pronix, we have experts that we help various CIO and CTO organizations. You can schedule a consultation, and then you can learn more about how Pronix actually conducts the IT assessments for various enterprise level clients, and we can help you or your organization to achieve its goals.
Well, thank you for joining us for this conversation on IT assessments. We hope that you have found this information valuable and that you will have a solid understanding of the importance of IT assessments for organizations of all sizes. There, Kishore, below this, it says that for the host, why an IT assessment? And why is an IT assessment needed to build a smart digital strategy?
So companies that want to develop an actionable IT strategy and create a detailed roadmap to achieve their goals, they undertake an in-depth assessment of where they are today and what they're going to change to achieve their short-term and long-term objectives. So I believe the strategic use of technology requires a holistic understanding of the technology in play, as well as your business goals, the needs, and the resources. So as a result, our business technology practice have developed a 360-degree IT assessment to provide you with a complete view of your business and technology needs.